Thank you so much, gentlemen, for being here, taking out time. And let's start with a quick round of introduction for our audience to know you a little better. Sabahat, can we start with you?
Hello. Yeah, thanks, Vibha, for having us on this panel. I'm Sabahat Kazi, as Vibha mentioned. I represent Intellect Bizware Services. We are a digital consulting company based out of Navi Mumbai, helping customers implement SAP solutions, right from ERP, which covers the core processes in an organization, helping with analytics to use the data which is available, and also the innovation piece on the platform. We started off in 2007 with the intent of delivering business outcomes for our customers through the use of technology. And the unique differentiators, if I can call them, first one is we help customers identify and implement best business practices. This is especially important for the SMEs because they would want to adopt the practices being used by the global companies. And secondly, also to help them create their own unique differentiated processes and ways of looking at their business, because every business, be it small, large, has its own secret sauce. So enabling that. From an industry perspective, primarily we work with consumer goods company, both the traditional ones as well as the new age D2C companies. We also work with chemical life sciences as well as engineering companies. And we have created accelerators which help companies very easily and quickly adopt those solutions. As a group, we are part of Nihilent, which is a 2,500 people consulting company with offices across 5 continents. And the idea is to deliver delightful interaction experiences and humanizing technology. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for that introduction, Sabahat. Over to you, Kaustav.
Hi, good evening, everybody. First of all, thank you for having me here, and congratulations to all the award winners so far. So, as Viva said, we actually, I represent Hybar Technocrat Limited. We come from a legacy of construction domain, which is our parent company. And we specialize in the infrastructure real estate segment, which is the EC&O segment, where we do implementations, audits, various process enhancements, analytics. When we started our journey, it was as a customer, which was the first of its kind comprehensive SAP implementation in India in the construction segment, which gave us a lot of knowledge. And there was no precedence, at least the way in which the construction industry operates in the Indian ecosystem or the Indian environment. And from there on, we also became a Global Industrial Advisory Council member for SAP, where we were fortunate to have give suggestions also to how the SAP solution could be better adapted or tweaked to this sort of an industry. And of course, beyond that, it has been now 200 plus engagements as a partner across infrastructure, real estate, mining, both in the private sector as well as smart cities, etc., in the government sector. So that is where we focus and specialize on. And we come because there are different types of models in which the industry works. Now the contracting models are changing. We have hybrid annuity, we had design build. In the real estate, you have maybe a leasing business, a mall management, a residential, commercial. So we have, over the years of experience, gathered all these templatized solutions and a solution which fits each of these segments or almost all of them. So that is where we specialize in.
Mr. Lenka.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. I am part of Entity Data Group. So we are actually a part of 140 billion Japanese conglomerate. Our division specifically works on the SAP domain, and we specialize in manufacturing and life sciences. We basically, if you see, we are the first SAP implementation company across the world. We started our operations in 1989, and we right now are the market leader in the migration piece, and we also provide consulting services to pharma, life sciences in their digitization of the GXP processes and all. Yeah, thanks.
Okay, we'll start with you, Mr. Lenka. I heard industries that all three of you represent, right? So the industry that you represent is manufacturing. What are the obstacles that you face and how do you overcome them?
Yeah, so if you see here, the MSME, the manufacturing plays a pivotal role in the manufacturing industry across the country, and it almost contributes like around 30% to the GDP. But the business, if you see here, it's continuously changing, and it's changing at a very, very fast pace. And these organizations work on wafer thin margins. So it is one of the, I think in earlier discussion, so somebody also touched upon this point about the cash-strapped organizations. And as Rajiv also said, the decision should come from the top. So that is actually a impediment when we go for implementing any digital technologies across the organizations or the sector. And in these organizations, if you see, the data are residing in silos, particularly the manufacturing or the shop floor data. So when we are not integrating this data with the core ERP, so we are not getting actually the correct picture of the product costing or the actual cost of a product that we are selling to the customers, what is the profit margin. So if we use something like digital technologies like IoT, machine learning or something, so we can get a wide variety of data which we can put across different functions to evaluate the costing part. But here again, if you see the customers, they are not very sure on the return on the investment if you are investing on these products. So yes, as Rajiv said, that the push should come from the top, then only it would move ahead.
Yeah, some of the challenges you've highlighted are common across industry. Do you see cost of any additional challenge different from the one Mr. Lenka has highlighted in the construction and real estate vertical?
Yeah, I would like to, of course, there are challenges, but I also see it as an opportunity in a sense that there's a huge fillip on, whether it is from the government side, if you see huge outlays, huge fund investments on the infrastructure side of things, where, as HIBAR we focus on. So when you see of the challenges, typically, even if I go back maybe 5-10 years back, there was no precedence of to how an application like, let's say, SAP would be working on an infrastructure or let's say construction, because typically their projects would be in perhaps remote site. In fact, I remember having been part of an implementation where there was a mountain and just beyond the mountain was Pakistan. So it was an Uri. So where we were doing an SAP implementation. Now, of course, Uri everybody knows because it's of the movie. So that was one. Second, the type of staff that you get in such projects. So you have to design systems which not only caters to the management vision of control, transparency, analytics, decision making, but also it has to be usable by the people who are on the ground. So that is one challenge which we have. Second challenge is a mindset change, because typically this industry, I would say, is not as mature as in the digitization today, as maybe if you would say a banking or something else. Yeah. So there are two aspects to that. One is having solutions which is fit across the leadership rung or to the bottom. Second is making this mindset change of people. However, these are also, brilliant opportunities and that is where we see with this growth story which is going to happen, this segment will come up and where digitization has a big, big role to play.
Mr. Kazi, in addition to this, something which is peculiar to consumer goods.
I think I'll add to what he has said. While not very specific to consumer, but something even consumer goods industry also faces, which is adoption. There have been a lot of interactions that we have had with the C-level people in organization, with business owners. And one of the hesitation, I would say, in going in for a solution which is systematic, which is process-driven, is whether the people will be able to use it or not. This is, I think, a common theme across industries. But once you convince that, yes, it's possible for the people to adopt, I think then it's a matter of the implementation partner actually proving that the people are going to use it properly. Last decade or so, what has happened is even SAP Solutions, if you see, they have come up with a very simple user interface. We call that Fiori, which is mobile enabled as well. And today you go to any remote location, you go to people who are not educated to that level that you would expect in industry. They are also very comfortable using a mobile. So if you are able to offer a user interface on the mobile, which is simple, which doesn't complicate the transactions, doesn't have too much of bells and whistles, just the data that they need to enter, I think adoption is assured in a way. So we implemented recently for a food company, and using this user interface, we were able to expose it to the people right to the worker level. We were able to enable it on tablets. And what happens then is the person who's actually in the plant, who also has to operate the equipment, and at the same time, he also has to enter data. He doesn't have to run back and maybe where the computer is placed and do the data entry. It's all available on the tablet. So a lot of changes have happened now, and now I think adoption is also probably not that much of a challenge going forward.
I would have loved to continue this conversation, but I have two small questions for you, short ones. One, next-gen technology that you would bet on. Sabahat.
I think automation is something very big, but it's not one word or a sentence. You have AI, ML in the back end.
One word, Sabahat.
Yeah, I think automation.
Automation. Mr. Lenka.
I would go for 3D printing.
3D
so it has got a huge potential going forward.
Interesting. Kaustuf.
I mean, there are many, but if you say one, maybe artificial intelligence. Yes.
Wow. Thank you so much, everyone, for this insightful session. It was a pleasure to moderate this session. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you.